I have people who are following me, and I know for a fact that they try to manifest $1 million and they can't. And they're like, yeah, but I buy the lottery ticket all the time and I can't, like nothing happens. I don't win anything. So where is that? I'm putting in the work, I'm buying the lottery ticket. Why am I not winning?
Let's say if you're making $50,000 a year, and if you want to make $1 million, and that's you're saying like, I want to be millionaire, I want to be millionaire. You can keep saying that, but if your subconscious is not ready for it, you are not ready for it. Consciously, you can wish you can buy lotteries, but do you actually deep down feel that that's something you deserve? You're manifesting from your subconscious. Everything that is in your subconscious is being created in your reality.
What do you think is the biggest misconception that people have around manifestation? Thank you for being my guest. I'm so excited.
Me too.
I think you're doing such an amazing job. You're so inspiring. I absolutely love your content. I'm Anna. I started Insanity to create a safe space for people who dare to follow their own passion in life. Because what I've realized is that many people just follow the footsteps of others instead of searching for their own truth. And that makes them fundamentally unhappy. But it's also considered the sane solution for everyone. So just doing the normal stuff is like sanity. So I thought I'll give this podcast the double meaning insanity. So it's like, probably we are insane. Probably we are the opposite because we actually dare to follow our own truth. And I stumbled across your content a while ago already because I'm totally into the woo-woo stuff and into manifestation myself, and forever and ever and ever because I just grew up with the magical side of life, I'd say. So that's
Mm.
nothing strange to me, and I never knew too many people who were like me, and I think also like you. So this all came like with the internet and social media that I've realized, oh, there are more of us. Let's
Yeah.
chat.
Yeah.
And that's why I also want to learn more from you, more about your path, more what makes you you, and why you started to do what you're doing as a creator and as a
Mhm.
coach. So maybe a little bit more about your story and what drives you.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. And I'm glad that we are sharing a similar path, and always grateful to connect with people like you.
Thank you. Likewise. Yes, I
Yeah.
would like to know more about you. Like, why did you start to create content? How did you even start your manifestation journey?
Yeah, no, that's a great question because um, when I moved to Canada, so right now I live in Canada and I moved to Canada in 2017 from India. So I can say that my whole awakening, spiritual awakening, actually started when I moved here because I found myself just by myself. I was going through that, the immigrant hustle mode. And then the first few years were very difficult for me, as for everyone who moved to different countries. And the advantage that I didn't see at that time was that I can see now is that I had so much time that I could just spend with myself and getting to know myself, what do I actually like? Because that was the time when I moved away from my friends, family, everyone.
Mhm.
And everything got really quiet. I would sit in my room in the basement and I would just wonder, like, I would ask these questions like why I'm here, what I'm doing. So
Mhm.
I think in a way that was the path that I had to take to know a little bit more about myself. And that's how I kind of, came across with I mean, I always had some kind of spiritual connection growing up because my parents are very spiritual, religious, not like super religious, but more, I would say, more spiritual. So, but I found my own journey when I moved here to Canada,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And that's when I started using practices like meditation, started reading more books, self-development. And I knew that, I moved to a different country not to just get by, to do, um, even though there's nothing wrong with doing immigrant jobs, but I knew that, I'm meant for more. And that led me to learn more about how we can do that. How can I become successful? How can I not just follow the same path that everyone is following?
Mhm.
And then through meditation, started learning more about manifestation and how everything that I've created is a result of my energy and my thoughts, my beliefs. And me coming to Canada was also, in a way, a big manifestation for me because I never thought that I would live in a different country growing up. And also seeing that I did not have that much finance, funds to, spend it on myself or like ask my parents to do that. So I never really thought that this was possible. But then 2 years ago, before I moved to Canada, I started having this like desire that, you know what, I want to do something more. I think I'm not happy. So just within like 1.5, 2 years, I'm in Canada. So then now looking back, I can see how I was actually manifesting, but not consciously. So that put me in the path of manifestation. Then, of course, I, read all those famous books, Law of Attraction, Think and Grow Rich, and all that in the
Hmm.
beginning. But yeah, that's kind of how I started my journey.
That's awesome. That's so, so interesting. And I can relate because I have been an immigrant for my entire life. Like I came to another country when I was little, then I moved again. So I'm also always traveling. So I feel you. I know what it's
Love
like.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, if you had to describe manifestation with like dummy words, because there's still so many people who probably think manifestation is woo-woo. It's probably not real, or it's just a term for doing the work or whatever, just
Mhm.
physically doing something. Like if you had to describe manifestation in simple words so that somebody who is not into that topic would understand what it actually is, what would you say?
Okay, that's a great question. So, first thing I would say is that we all are manifesting. We are all manifesting 24/7. Now, a lot of the time people don't realize that they are. They see manifestation, as you said, woo-woo, something very spiritual practice, doing like a full moon ritual or something, right? But how I see manifestation is a complete lifestyle. It's a lifestyle of your habits. It's a lifestyle of bringing in, instead of being in the hustle mode, being in the, I like to call it alignment, being in more alignment. It's alignment based actions than hustle mode, right? Hustle based. Um, so if anybody who is new to manifestation, this is my message. Just know that you're manifesting right now, listening to us. You're manifesting from your subconscious. Everything that is in your subconscious is being created in your reality. Anything that you are seeing right now in your physical, anything you will see in your physical in the future, that is all part of what you're feeling inside, what you're thinking, what are your beliefs, and what actions are you taking.
Do you think that everything we want can be manifested?
I would agree 99% with that. I want to, give 1% doubt for that. But because the thing is, the reason I say that is because I can want that I want to have this, but until and unless I am not fully ready for it, which means my nervous system, my energy, my even intention, that plays a big role. If I don't have that clear intention, maybe there is a little bit selfishness in that, maybe a little bit some greed in that. So if that's there, then maybe yes, you cannot 100% manifest that. But I always say that in my videos too, and even I work with my clients that you can manifest anything you want.
Mm-hmm.
You can, right? But are you ready to put in the work? Are you ready to say no to a lot of the things that you're doing right now?
Mm-hmm.
And then 99% of people will say no. That is something I love to do every day. So then I would say that maybe not. Um, but I personally feel, coming back to the question of yes and no, is that 99% I believe that you can manifest anything you want.
Yeah, yeah. And for example, I have people who are following me, and I know for a fact that they try to manifest $1 million. Like they
Mhm,
want to win the lottery. If it's a million or more,
mhm,
maybe it's actually even more, but they want to
mhm,
win the lottery, and they can't. And
mhm.
they're like, yeah, but I buy the lottery ticket all the time, and I can't. Like nothing happens. I don't win anything. Maybe like $10 or something. So where is that? I'm putting in the work. I'm buying the lottery ticket. Why am I not winning?
Okay. This is one of the things that sometimes put me off when people say, I want to have $1 million, or I want to make $1 billion, or I want to be a billionaire, right? Some people would even go that far, right? And I'm not saying that you can't. Everybody can. But if you haven't made, let's say, for example, picking a number, $100,000, first focus on that.
Hmm.
Because when we are saying, if let's say, this is complete example, right? Like I'm not saying that's who somebody who's listening, they make that much money. But let's say if you're making $50,000 a year, and if you want to make $1 million, and that's you're saying like, I want to be millionaire, I want to be millionaire. You can keep saying that, but if your subconscious is not ready for it, you are not ready for it.
Hmm.
Consciously, you can wish you can buy lotteries, but do you actually deep down feel that that's something you deserve, right?
Yeah.
Uh, because our self-image, our identity plays a big role in it. If you don't see yourself who is a millionaire, this is not the energy that you're putting out. You're putting out a different energy. You're putting out an energy that I want to manifest $1 million. I
Hmm.
want to win lottery. So then what is happening is that you are putting out the energy of I want it, and how, in my understanding till now, how the energy or the universe or our field works is that it's coming back as like you
Hmm.
want it, so it kind of keeping you in the loop.
Yeah.
So when you believe it that, okay, I want to manifest $1 million, what is my proof? What is telling me that, okay, maybe you can? So then you start looking for proof. Oh, I made $50,000 last year. This year I'm already gonna be making 100K. So which means I am moving forward. So you need to gently guide your system. You need to gently make your nervous system, your subconscious mind become ready. If we rush too much into things, it can be actually dangerous, because you can manifest, you can force it, you manifest $1 million, but then what's going to happen is, and that happens to a lot of people who win lottery, they don't have $1 million in a year. They will spend most of the money
Hmm.
because their system is not ready. So it'll go in directions, it's not coming back. It's just going out because
Yeah.
your capacity to hold wealth is limited. Yeah.
Yeah. So baby steps towards the million.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there a daily practice, something we can do every day, maybe something small that helps us to get more comfortable with the abundance we already have or with the things we already have so we can prepare ourselves for the next step better?
hmm Yeah. So, one of the practices that I'm doing at present, like again, my practices are always evolving with time, depending on where I am in my journey. But the one practice that I also teach, not just on my social media, in all of my offerings to my clients, is actually, there are two.
Mhm.
Number one is you need to maintain your frequency. If you're, let's say, more abundance, more opportunities, if the frequency on a scale of, let's say, 1 to 10, it's a 9. So we need to match the frequency. We need to tune from, let's say, maybe you're at 4 or 5, you need to go up. How you can do that? Two easy ways. Number one is meditation, because what meditation does is it brings your awareness from the past or from the future. It brings all the awareness in the present. And when you are in the present, your energy is all here, which means it's ready to be used in a direction of your goal. So
Mhm.
now, from the present state, you can create the reality using maybe visualization. You can now visualize it. You can feel the emotion that the abundance you have. Gratitude is one of the most powerful practices to put yourself in the abundance mode. Because when you're grateful, which means you're telling that, oh, I'm so happy that I have that. Because at the end, it's not the money we want, it's not the material things we want the feeling. So if we can connect with the feeling of, let's say, feeling fulfilled, feeling happy, satisfied, that is going to amplify with time.
Mhm.
So gratitude, meditation, visualization, And yeah, I love to dance. So sometimes what I would do is I would put on my headphones and I'll just dance for like 5, 10 minutes, or sometimes even it goes for maybe 30 minutes. But that's the easiest way to put yourself in a higher frequency.
I think I do that too sometimes because it just makes me feel happy. And if I'm happy, like I don't feel so worried about things. And maybe people who are like very serious and they go seriously about their day, they will not just start dancing because they like tell themselves that they're too troubled, they struggle too much to just do it. So, but it relaxes your body, right? And then you just
Hmm.
come more into this feeling that life's actually good and that you have fun. And when you have fun, you manifest better.
Yeah, because you're already at a higher frequency. So everything in the field that is vibrating at a higher frequency, and most of the time, the things that we want, like our goals, most of them are at a higher frequency, right? Like because we want to be, again, at the end, coming back to the feeling
Hmm.
from these goals. We want the feeling, we want to be happy, we want to be at peace, we want to be, more giving. And those
Hmm.
are all higher frequency. So dancing or any sort of practice that is your favorite, you can practice that, and that puts you in a really amazing state.
Yeah, I just think again how funny it is and how paradoxical that what we actually want is the feeling. So we want to feel good, we want to feel relaxed and happy, and
Mhm.
we try to manifest things, we try to get things that create this feeling. And it's so tricky because what really works is to create the feeling so the things come.
Mhm.
And that just sounds so paradoxical for many people because they are oftentimes like, yeah, how can I be happy before the thing comes? And that's why I love these techniques that you just gave us. It's like, yeah, it's like dancing it off. It's like clearing your mind with meditation and
Mhm.
counting the blessings that are already there, which
Mhm.
I personally also apply. And I would say it works.
Yeah.
I also had another technique and I wanted to double check it with you.
Yeah, I
Yes.
would love to know that.
Okay, so there is one thing that I just recently figured out, and for me, it absolutely worked in an almost terrifying way. And it was that I wanted to go to the beach, like I wanted to go to the ocean, and it's not very far from here actually, but time-wise, it just didn't work so well. But I really felt like I like, need the sea breeze, the air, and I would like imagine it and feel into it and like feel this ocean water and everything. Within
Mhm.
2 days, I had the opportunity to go to the ocean. Like, and the same I had
Mm.
with this, like really basic things. I wanted to go to the
Yeah.
movies, and I was like, oh, that would be fun. And I felt into this feeling. And I would say it takes a few seconds, sometimes 4 or 5, but I try to do it sometimes like 16 to 19 seconds to hold the feeling, what it would
Hmm.
feel like to be there. And it's like almost instantly, like 2 days is
Mm.
usually the
Hmm.
time frame that it would just happen.
Yeah, no, I think what you just described, it is very powerful, and I'm glad that it's working for you. And I think from that, a lot of people can take a little bit advice. What you just explained is that you have to feel it first before you see it in the physical. And the reason these small little instant manifestations work so easily is because that ocean water is close by, so there is
Hmm.
no kind of logical reasoning that is coming in between, that oh, maybe you won't be able to do that, or this is too hard for you. You know that deep down that it's easy to go to the beach,
Yeah.
or the other example you gave. So that's what also tells us that if you visualize it, feel it, and then just like let it go, instead of like every single minute checking, like if it's happening, it's happening. You just let go, you surrender, and then boom, it happens. And also, I want to point that out. You said it takes you like 48 hours. That is
Yes.
very interesting, because that has happened to me many times. And I've heard this from, I cannot remember the name. Um, I don't know if it was Abraham Hicks or someone. Someone
Hmm.
said that it takes 24 to 48 hours to the results to show up.
Yeah.
So what you're doing, there is proof. There is proof. I wish I could recall the name where I heard the first time. But yeah, th that's an amazing technique, and I think people can definitely take advantage from that.
Yeah, maybe the listeners know. Maybe they can they can update us on that. How interesting. It was just
Yeah.
something that I've noticed, and I also had that with dreams. So sometimes I would have dreams where I would see something happening, like and something so vividly, and it would give me also a deep feeling for the actual situation that's going on. And within 48 hours, like 2 days, this thing that I saw or experienced basically would also come into physical reality within two
Mm.
days. And sometimes there were also things that were not very nice. So I didn't necessarily want it to happen, but I just saw it
Mm.
in a dream. And then I would like look out for it almost anxiously, like, oh my God, is it happening? Like,
Mhm.
I hope it's not
Yeah.
coming. And then I would be like,
Yeah.
because for one day it wouldn't come, you know? So I'll be like, oh, okay, easy, all good, just a
Yeah.
dream. And then the very next day it would come. I was like, no, no, 48
Yeah.
hours. Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, yeah, it's amazing, but also like now it makes sense. Okay, it's not just me. I hope someone knows who said
Yeah.
that. It'd be great to
Yeah.
look that up. Who's, by the way, the best manifester, you know? Is there anyone who you say, oh, that's probably the best manifester of our time, and I admire this person. I think they are doing it right.
Oh, I think there are many. There are many. Okay, so the one person that I have admired for years now, and their teachings have changed my life in a lot of ways. Their name is Thich Nhat Hanh. He's a Vietnamese monk and a peace activist. He has many books on mindfulness, on meditation. I think even though he did not try to like manifest things, but their approach, just the approach towards life is so kind, so peaceful. And that's where I learned how to channel the energy of like, being in peace and still manifest and
Mm-hmm.
not be in hustle mode. So Thich Nhat Hanh, I know maybe I'm not pronouncing the name correct, but yeah, I think he passed on 2 years ago or 3 years ago. But yeah, I always wanted to meet him, but anyways, I can meet him through the books and his
Mm-hmm.
teachings. So
Right.
that's one, and if I can name someone right now, I do actually admire Vishen Lakhiani. He's the founder of Mind Valley.
I know that. Yeah,
Um,
I know them. Yeah.
okay, yeah. So that he's I would say he's doing something really like powerful, and he's a great manifester.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very interesting that you also named people who manifested peace for themselves. So these kind of feelings and not just, abundance and a jet and so on. And oftentimes when people talk about manifestation, they have like two major topics, I would say. One is relationships, like love and relationships, and the other one is wealth. And when I look at the wealthiest people right now, I would say they are not necessarily like the woo-woo kind of people who would like sit down, meditate a lot, at least to my knowledge. Maybe they do, who knows? But to my
Mhm.
knowledge, they probably don't, and they are more focused on the action of generating more wealth all the time. And it
Mhm.
happens so easily for them to generate that, and they don't seem
Mhm.
to have any issues with limiting beliefs or anything. Would you say that
Mhm.
this is a reason why they are wealthy because they can just coexist with this abundance without feeling nervous? Or is there more
Mhm.
to it? Like, do you think that they do ask for it?
Mhm. So this is my theory, maybe, but I truly believe that any entrepreneur or athlete or any artist, right? I believe that their success is tied to their altruistic intentions. If you see any big company, maybe now their values might have changed, but the beginning of the company, they always had the altruistic approach that they didn't want to have this, like, let's say, technology for themselves, but for the people, for humans, for the humanity. Now,
Yeah.
I will give you an example. Apple. Maybe now people see that, it might not be the best company for them or it's evil. Some people have views, and that's completely fine. There might be reasons, right? But the beginning phases, this is how I see it. Apple wanted to bring in innovation, wanted to bring in revolution in computers, and they did that. And that's because the intention was for the people, for service. And Amazon, same thing, now might not be the best company for a lot of people, but how it started was like it wanted to just have things delivered quick,
Mm.
having the bookstore, right? I believe that that's how it started, right? It had a bookstore first, so wanted to maybe spread knowledge, even though there was maybe the intention was to make money from the business too. But this is my take on it, and I observed a lot of those people, a lot of those companies, and I think this is the pattern that I recognized.
Yeah, would you say it stays the pattern or does it change over time? But it became kind of the initial success that was necessary came through these kind of motives.
hmm And same thing with the content as well, because I create content, you also create content. A lot of the time, I personally believe, and I was doing that, is that I was focused on how can I, like, make this video go viral, or how can I make more money. But then when I started shifting that focus to how I can add value in someone's life, how I can maybe give answers towards, let's say, manifestation, meditation to someone who is feeling stuck. When I changed that approach, things started happening fast and I started seeing more success. So I I try to apply what I learn or I teach, and then I create a belief. And this is the something I learned from Buddha, because when Buddha started teaching to the group of monks or disciples, that's what he said. He said, "Don't take my teachings word to word. Take them, apply them, and if you think they're helping you and you see benefit, only then believe in them. Otherwise, just throw it out." That's
Wow.
what I try to follow.
Yeah, I love that. That's pretty honest to say. Yeah, and what you just said, like I never deeply thought about it this way, that the altruistic reason, it actually helps you to elevate your content or business or whatever your business is. But now there's one experience that I personally had that came to my mind and that absolutely confirms what you just said. Although, like
Mhm,
at first you might think, huh? Is it like, because there's so
mhm,
many wealthy people who you would say are probably also still greedy, but
mhm,
it probably
mhm,
also depends on the journey that each individual is on somehow.
mhm,
But for me, like personally, I had one experience and this was like crazy, crazy, and it confirms what you just said. So, um, I desperately wanted an agency, like a firm, a company that I was working for. I wanted them to succeed. So I wanted them to generate more money because I loved them and I wanted them to, like, they had a challenging time. And I was really sitting there trying to make sense of the situation and how can I help them generate more money and save some people's positions. And I was like already thinking like, okay, maybe I can network myself. And the focus was generating money for the company. I failed. It didn't work. So what I actually planned to do didn't work out. So I was just walking around in the streets, a bit sad, and then I met randomly some people who I knew, or one person that I knew, but they were at a business meeting and they invited me out of nowhere to Cannes in France on a private jet. And I was like, huh? Like, why? And
Yeah.
I said, and some of my friends thought maybe that's like some malicious intent or whatever. I didn't feel it that way. I thought, no, these people are super nice, all cool. And it was super cool, but it came like out of nowhere. And I thought, was it probably because
Mm,
I tried so hard to generate wealth for this
mhm,
company, like for these people to help them, that suddenly I
mhm,
had this crazy opportunity that came out of nowhere?
mhm. Yeah, I think that's powerful because the other reason that I would also give what you just said to add to it is when we have an intention that is not just for us and for other people, it also takes in a way, you can call it stress, but like what happens in the brain is that we have our fear center or amygdala, we call it. It takes because we don't have fear for us anymore. Now it's focusing on other people. So when there is no fear, your brain will start looking for opportunities, resources, and proof to make it happen, what you are literally putting out. So it's going to keep looking for those resources. And I think that's what happened, that that opportunity came to you because you were aligning yourself with
Hmm.
that opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah, that's super powerful. I will have to
Yeah.
observe that a little bit more too.
Yeah, for
Uh,
sure.
And do you believe that when we talk about our manifestations or what we are planning to manifest, that there is some sort of evil eye, that people can take it away from you? Or is this the real woo-woo?
It is one of the biggest myths, I would say.
Hmm.
I don't believe in it. I used to believe in it because I grew up in a culture that is very superstitious. And the moment I stopped believing in that, I never got affected by it. And I still know people also in my family, my friends, they do believe in that. They would say like, okay, you know what? I got the evil eye. That's why this happened. We are actually giving power to something and someone instead of focusing on ourselves. So in that way, what happens is that you're weakening your energy field, your layer, your protection. So you, in a way, you're cultivating a belief that that happens. I
Hmm.
can get evil eye. I had that experience in the past. So you're believing that. The moment you start believing in it, it will start becoming a reality.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, but I also still have a
Yeah.
different experience somehow. So I'm not superstitious and I don't believe, I believe that I create that when that happens. And I
Hmm.
certainly have these experiences and I'm like, oh my God, should I just stop talking about what I want to manifest? Because I curse myself into these unfortunate situations somehow because,
Mm.
it's coming from me. But I think because there is still a deep-seated belief somehow that whenever I talk about it, it won't
Mhm.
happen. But
Mhm.
I wanted to ask you, like, if you don't believe in the evil eye, would you like to share what you are currently manifesting?
We talked about emotions and the feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I am right now is instead of saying that I want, let's say, $1 million, so
Mm-hmm.
to say,
Mm-hmm.
I am focusing more on the feeling. Right now, I'm manifesting overflow. Right
Mm.
now, I'm manifesting influence. Right now, I'm manifesting inspiration. That these are the three main things that I'm manifesting right now.
Wow. Yeah, I'm on board. I think the same.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
And
yes.
is there one practice that you particularly do every day to reach this specific goal? Are this the
Mhm.
three ones that you mentioned in the beginning, or are you doing something additionally?
Okay, so I do have a sometimes very lengthy morning routine, or sometimes it can be quick depending upon how much time I have in the morning. So meditation, there is no excuses. That's what I do
Mm-hmm.
at least 10 minutes, at least. So that's how I start my day. I would
Mm-hmm.
do a meditation practice and then I would do a visualization practice. Now, that is also connected to my goals, what I'm trying to bring in my reality. But then there is another powerful practice that is to keep myself connected with the intentions, my altruistic intention, which is to simply asking myself and finishing my meditation practice by saying, this is what I exactly say. Okay. I am grateful that I've cultivated this intention and I cultivated this intention and this powerful energy, and I'm ready to send it out in the world. That's it. That's all I say. And because then it keeps me connected to my mission that this is why I started at the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And and when you lead with love, it's the one of the most, or one of, not one of the, but most powerful energy. So when you combine that with your actions, it's it's a different energy. And I wish I knew that from the beginning,
Hmm.
But then again, it was a journey that I had to go on, and I had to learn. I had to learn one thing at a time. And now I feel like I have a very good, again, not this is not my ego speaking, but I think I personally feel that I have a very good understanding of how I'm going to manifest my next chapter, for example. And I have all the tools that are available to me right now. And meditation, visualization, sending loving energy to the world is like a no-brainer for me.
Hmm. I love that. Why would you
Mhm.
say that cats are great manifestors?
Oh, I see. The you're talking about the video I posted.
Right.
Yes. Okay, that's interesting because that video got a lot of attention, and I was so grateful that it did. And I'm not even lying. When I say that this was truly my idea that came to me. It was not inspired by, let's say I watched a video similar to that. And the idea, of course, it's an inspiration. It came to me because I was watching something on the TV and there was a cat, and then I felt like I was observing it. I was like, okay, people like this a lot, and cats are, they're like a really great manifester. They have food, they have, they have beautiful house, they have really good caretaker. Now, exceptions are there. Yes, I saw a lot of comments on my post too. Oh, what about the stray cats? We are not talking about the stray cats right now. We are talking about cats in general, that cats who have a really good life. Because, people like to always find the bad and the
Yeah.
something that is not there. But anyways, I say that because they are like that. They spend their time, they're just sitting on the couch. They know that they're gonna get their treats. They know that if, of course, they have somebody has a backyard or something, they're gonna go out, they're gonna chase a little mouse, field mouse or something. They know that their life is set like that, and they don't care about it, right? So that's where I think the whole idea came to me, and just taking inspiration how they manifest it, but putting it in more human form. I never had a cat on my own, but I lived with my grandmother who had a cat, and I lived there for 2.5 years, so I can tell because I was with the cat. I observed the cat, and I saw how good her life was and is still, right? But the reason I don't have cats is that I'm super allergic,
Oh
super
no. Okay.
allergic. So
Yeah.
yeah, one day, hopefully, once I have better immunity with cats and the dander, maybe I will. But for now, no.
Yeah, yeah, I see. Yeah, but also the cat is not, asking herself or itself like, will I get something nice later? Like, will this happen or is it coming? Whatever. They are just so chill. They kind of
Yeah.
know it and they are just who they are. I think also this extreme authenticity that cats or like animals in general have.
Hmm.
They just are who they are, while we as humans we have this extreme, I'd say, like construct and all these stories about ourselves, about how we should show
Hmm.
up, who we should be again, and we don't show up as who we are authentically. And I'm just wondering, is this probably also something that blocks manifestations because the things we want to manifest are probably not representative of who we are in the first place? Means that if I want to manifest, let's say, a relationship, like I want to manifest a partner, and then the question is why? Like maybe you would be better off without a partner, or maybe not now, or maybe in a different form, or whatever. And I just think that like sometimes people will try to get this thing or this huge amount of money because their environment tells them that they have to follow this path. Like, yeah, but because it's time for you, because you're old or whatever, or because
Yeah.
your brother has a car too, so now you have to have a car as well, like things like that.
Hmm.
So maybe the manifestations we are trying to bring into our reality have nothing to do with us. And maybe that's why we cannot manifest them.
Hmm. Hmm. And I'm glad you mentioned our personality, our identity.
Hmm.
That plays a big role because our identity that is today is a result of our past beliefs, past experiences. And most of the time, what happens with the hurt or heartbreaks, let's say if we are talking about relationship, those things put us in a state where we now, from next time, we are going to protect ourselves from getting hurt again.
Mhm.
So it creates this protective environment, keeping us safe, even though consciously we want to be with someone now.
Mm.
So it's all about understanding that when you are, let's say, going back into dating, right? Or buying a car, your next example you mentioned is, especially in dating, is that how do you feel? What is coming up? Like doing a full, complete, heart-to-heart conversation with yourself. Okay, if you don't feel you're not ready, then why you have the desire to be with the in a relationship? So asking all those questions, being very honest with yourself. And I know that it can be hard when you're just doing it by all by yourself. Maybe you wanna, in that situation, you wanna seek help, you wanna maybe talk to your therapist, counselor, or your coach, someone, right? Who can help you and guide you through those challenges and actually see a breakthrough. So
Mhm.
I feel in all situations is that we have created this protective layer, and this is our comfort space, and this is our comfort zone. And if we do anything out of that, it's scary. And then what happens is that our system is like, no, 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 this is not safe. Let's go back in the circle again. So that comes off as self-sabotage. We
Mhm.
will take some action. Maybe we'll say like, oh, sorry, I'm busy today. I'm not, you won't go on a date. So that's in a way is a self-sabotage, even though you are not busy. So you'll find a way, your system will, like your brain will shoot these like thoughts and emotions and fears that say this, say that, protect yourself. This is not safe for
Mhm.
you. So that's just something that, it takes a little bit time, a little bit more patience, just to know yourself. And this is what I always say, like humans are complicated beings. We are complicated beings. There's so much going on. And it's okay that if you fail sometimes, if you're not able to find someone, um, but at the end, it's all going here. What is going within?
Mhm. Would you say that self-sabotage then even exists? Because if it's just our protection mechanism that kind of comes in to save us from this dangerous experience that we probably grew up with or we've
Mhm.
experienced like early on in life, then maybe it's
Mhm.
not self-sabotage. Maybe it's actually help. It's just not the help you want. It's just not what you want next.
Yeah, 100%. I think the word kind of helps um, to kind of point out that this is what is happening. So self-sabotage for that reason. But I think you're right. You're 100% right when you're saying that it is a help because your system is actually helping you by saying that don't do this, keeping you safe. But that's where I would have a conversation with my inner critic. I would say, I understand you want me to be here, but let me remind you that I am okay right now. I am safe. I have decided that I want this. So it's kind of navigating through your own voices. That is I would say, one of the tough things to do.
Mhm.
But as you learn, as you practice, you get better.
What do you think are the biggest fears we have deep down without knowing it? So let's say we want things, but we are subconsciously afraid of them. What would you say? What would you say are these things most of the time?
Interesting. I think number one thing is the fear of losing your comfort.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one, even though you want consciously, as we just mentioned, that subconsciously you feel safe here. So there is that fear, number one. Now, there is one other fear that I talk a lot about, especially for my clients or someone who is an entrepreneur or who is doing content or who want to grow as an artist, right? We have a fear of being seen. That is a really big fear, and that stops a lot of people from actually succeeding. Is we want the fame, we want the wealth, we want to be helping a lot of people, but we have that fear of being judged. That what if I just be myself, I will get judged, right? And that again goes back to our childhood because it started there. Somebody maybe judged us. Maybe we saw people criticizing people who were themselves. So, fear of being seen, fear of being judged, fear of failure is another big one. A lot of
Mhm.
people have that fear that even before they even try to follow their passion or dream, they're like, oh, what if I won't succeed? They will never take action. And that happens for years and years and years.
Do you think there's also fear of success?
Oh yeah, 100%. Fear of success. Thank you for mentioning that. I wouldn't even have thought about it. Fear of success is so powerful because at one point, in one side, you want to have all the success, but on the other hand, you fear of losing what you have today. Maybe you have fear of losing your freedom because you see
Mhm.
yourself in when you have a lot of success, you see yourself busy all the time. Maybe you have a fear of a lot of the time that's also what happens is that fear of being taken advantage of when you think that you when once you're famous more successful people will take advantage of me
Mm.
so that is also another one so yes 100% I think that's a highlight of all the fears is fear of
A
success
success,
yeah.
yeah, it's not crazy. I also think one of my personal highlights of what you just said was the fear of being seen, because I think oftentimes we don't even know we have this fear.
Hmm.
What I've noticed is that there are, like for me personally, there are two personas. There is the online personality, and there is the real life outside of online personality.
Hmm.
And the outside, like the offline person, is that I think she doesn't have the fear of being seen. And online, it's like a different story. And I'm wondering why this is, or why we are so different on and offline. Have you experienced that before?
Oh yeah. I still do sometimes. I am getting way better at it.
Hmm.
And I personally feel the reason that we have the fear of being seen and having two personas is just because we seek validation.
Hmm.
We want to be accepted by by our community, by people, and that's not even just something modern. This is something very if you see back in the go back in the history, you'll see when we were tribes, we would always wanted to be a part of a tribe. So it's something that is in us, but now we have to, in a way, reprogram ourselves and know the difference that it is safe.
Hmm.
Again, it comes down to making yourself feel safe with success, with fame, and not seeking validation. Because when you start seeking validation, it's a really um, dangerous place. And I say that from my personal experience in the past for a long time. I would always seek validation to trust that I am good enough.
Oh.
If I see more likes, if I see more comments, only then I would believe I'm good enough. But that put me in a really bad place in the past where same thing, I started self-sabotaging myself. I stopped creating content because that's what I was thinking that I am not good enough. Maybe I'm not meant for this. Then I started doing a lot of self-worth work, self-esteem, kind of creating my identity where I'm like, I am good enough. I know all this knowledge. And then I create content, not
Mm.
the other way around, because most of us are putting themselves out there and then waiting for the validation from other people to see if it was good or not.
Mhm.
So when
Mhm.
you change that story, your energy is different. You're more confident. You're more magnetic because again, now you're being yourself. You don't care about people validating you. You're just
Right.
being
Yeah.
yourself. And that's what even if that's what I try to see in a lot of the creator or people who are online sharing their messages is that people who are more themselves, they have a really good community. People want to watch their videos. People are obsessed with them, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So that is something that I always try to learn from those creators, those people that Oh, that's interesting. And there's one, I would share one thing that I'm doing more of now is I learned this. I don't know the name of the creator. I just watched a video. It's called face FaceTime effect.
Hmm.
So FaceTime effect is you're sharing something online, just share it as you're talking to your friend on a face. You're FaceTiming your friend. Share your message like that because it's more personal. There is less kind of like, there's less editing. You're just like being raw, authentic. And I think that's where we are now in 2025, at least, is everybody just want to see more raw, more people being more authentic and sharing their experiences instead of showing that how perfect they are, which was like, for example, old social media.
Yeah,
And now we are also more in the interest media than social media.
that's interesting. Why do you think that changed?
I think it's just evolution of social media with technology, because of the algorithms. Now you're being shown only the things that you are interested in, which I think it is in a lot of ways. It's very helpful because it keeps you in your world too.
Hmm.
But it can also be limiting in some ways. But that's why I started creating content for people who are like me, for example, who have similar goals, who want the same things like me.
Hmm.
Maybe the goal might be different, but very similar kind of vibe, right? It's again, at the end, your vibe attracts your tribe. So
Right?
that's a saying, right? But yeah, again, it's a journey, this is my personal experience. Like I'm learning every single day. I'm learning from every single piece of content I make. Every time I work with the client, every time I am just sharing something, I learn every single time.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Definitely.
Yeah.
When it comes to manifestation, would you say that people also manifest from anxiety and from discomfort, from fear? And if so, what are they manifesting?
They are manifesting exactly that fear, anxiety, and as like to say, hustle. Because this is again, it comes down to your energy. Whatever you're putting out, it's coming back. You can call it karma, law of karma. But when you are in when you are anxious, when you are in that survival mode, you are not creating from a place of creation in a way. You're
Hmm.
creating from a place of survival. Now, survival has only one focus and one main goal is to keep you surviving.
Yeah.
But I see that we as humans, we are here not to just survive, but to thrive. And you are only going to thrive when, number one, calm your mind, calm the chaos that is going on in your head, calm your energy. When your energy is calm, now your mind is like, okay, tell me what to do now. Because we are not
Hmm.
surviving now. There's nothing to worry about. I'm not anxious. I'm not stressed. Body's happy. Mind is happy. Let's create something amazing. So then you take action. You have these amazing ideas, and those ideas actually make you more successful.
You said you don't even consciously manifest the things you want if you don't meditate. Is that, this was your latest video, by the way. I really liked it. And as I understand it, it means if you don't meditate, you don't clear your mind, you don't come back to zero. And if you don't come back to zero, you stay in your negative thoughts. And what you also said was 80% of our thoughts are negative. So if
Yeah.
we always think all that negative stuff, then we subconsciously manifest what matches all that stuff instead
Yeah.
of what we say that we want. So meditation would be the solution here, as I understand it.
Yes, meditation is, of course, the solution to a lot of other problems too, a lot of challenges. And I completely understand that meditation might not be for everybody.
Hmm.
And that's why I don't talk to those people. I am talking to people who are interested in meditation because I find it for me, I would rather spend energy in helping people who already know and understand the importance of meditation,
Mhm.
manifestation, rather spending too much energy into bringing people and shaking them like meditation is real. Please come to me, listen to me.
Mm.
So and they would maybe arrive. They would come to my world when they're ready. So meditation is definitely I say that it's your foundation. Basic foundation has to be strong. It's like a house. When you start creating a house, you start from foundation.
Mhm.
And when your foundation is strong, only then you're going to build something on top of it, which is your goals and your visions. But if your foundation is weak, you are manifesting, you're in hustle mode, but you're not taking time to strengthen your connection. Everything that you're building can collapse any minute.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I love what you just said, that you don't even try to convince people. And I think that's an amazing tip for coaches, actually, or for people who just teach. Because what I've seen people do a lot is they try to convince everyone why one particular method is great. And I think for like thousands of years, people are talking about manifestation. So maybe you're like, right, it's enough. If people would want, they would do it. So if the knowledge is available, it's not like nobody's talking about it right now. Like actually everyone is talking about it. It's kind of
Yeah.
out there. So if people don't try, it's a choice. And if it's a
Mhm.
choice, then as a coach, you can't do so much. Like you have to
Mhm.
let it be and eventually wait until they are ready for the information.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what I also say, even like when I am signing up a new client or a client is interested to working with me, right? I always say that this is my approach.
Hmm.
This is how I'm going to help you. And now it's your decision if you are ready and willing to put in the work. If you're ready and willing to sit for every 5, 10 minutes every single day, just learning about yourself. And again, a lot of the time people are ready for that, but that is something how I like to kind of have my screening test is this is what the rules are, or the, let's say, when you apply for a job, there are certain instructions that you must know this and that. So for me, it's like these are the things you will be doing when you will work with me. So if you're ready for it, let's go.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. But I think, or like, did you make the experience that people would say yes, they would agree, and then they would have difficulties to commit to certain practices or to commit to meditation because they can't actually calm their mind? Because what I
Mhm.
hear very often is people who say, I can't meditate, I can't focus, or I can't calm my mind. So, do you have this experience with people, and what do you tell them?
Yeah, that happens a lot, and I think that happens with every single person I work with, just because I understand that not everybody loves meditation the way I love meditation, right? As a teacher. And it's all about finding the perfect way for them to meditate. So for example, I don't teach everyone that this is the way, this is how you're supposed to do. If they find, let's say, for example, I would say like focusing on your breath, that is one way to meditate,
Hmm.
right? But a lot of the time people find it very difficult because, again, some people can have ADHD, some people, they just can't calm themselves. So then there are different practices like, okay, let's try maybe now focusing just on the sounds first. And maybe just let's even not even do that. Let's just let me guide you. Just listen to my instructions first before you are on your own. So it's all about finding what works for the person, for in this case, for a client, and going from there. You cannot impose what you think is best on someone else. And again, my approach is gentle. It's more, there is a combination of compassion and wisdom. And this is something I have taken from my studies in Buddhism, that
Hmm.
you have to combine both. You cannot just have compassion, because then you're going to have compassion burnout. That's a term. And then you must have wisdom. If somebody is not willing to put in the work, you have to remind them. You have to also be very straightforward with them. You have to, call them out if they're not showing up. So it's a balance, and sometimes it is hard to maintain that. Um, but that's kind of what I try to follow.
What do you think is the biggest misconception that people have around manifestation?
I think it's there are many, but the main one that I hear is positive thinking is gonna help you manifest. And even though it is true to some extent, but positive thinking, sometimes people, and not sometimes, a lot of the time, I see people uh, start suppressing their emotions. They're not facing the real challenge, real problem, and they're like, no, I have to think positive. So that puts them in a really weird place. Then there are a lot of issues can happen too. You'll start getting headaches because now you're trying to push two things kind of like that energies. You have this energy which is might be a maybe like a small trauma that is trying to tell you that heal, I want to be healed, but then you're like, no, positive thinking, positive, so you're suppressing it.
Yeah.
So then you can have different issues, and that's why a lot of the time people say manifestation doesn't work for them, because it's not just positive thinking. As I said, it's an alignment of your thinking, your emotions, your habits, your energy. It's a full alignment, and when
Mhm.
you're in that alignment, uh, only then you will see your physical manifestation.
I love that you brought up positive thinking because I think when people force themselves so much into thinking positively, they are actually thinking negatively about the thoughts that they have. Because
Mm,
why would I need to force myself into a certain mindset if I were convinced that what I am right now and what I think right now is all right? So it actually
mm.
comes from negative thinking if we try to become more positive. So what else would happen than just manifesting more lack in that moment?
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. You nailed it. And one thing I would add to that is, as you mentioned, that we are naturally abundant. And this is something that people need to understand, that the practices that you're doing, meditation, manifestation, visualization, it is helping you to go back to yourself, not to take you somewhere else. So at the end, we are learning how to be ourselves, because when we are calm, there's no thought. It's not helping, it's not spiraling your head.
Hmm.
So only then we have an identity. I am this, I am that, I cannot manifest it. But when we are calm, you're just energy. And that is abundant. It's always abundant.
Love that. Yeah. Is collective manifestation real? Means if we don't manifest something as one person, but as one species or as a country or like as a group of people, like is it real? And does it work differently?
Oh, yeah, it does, because I will give you a quick example.
Hmm.
Now, think about if you have a meditation practice, you're meditating on your own, you do that every single day. Now, then, for example, let's say you're like, okay, you know what, Guri, would you guide me through a meditation? Then I will guide you. You are going to have a totally different experience. And then, if you join a class, for example, you're going to have completely different experience, because now instead of you focusing your energy to this one particular goal, there are 10 more people, 50 more people, 100 more people are also doing the same thing. So you are actually, through your love and your intentions, you are giving more energy to that energy and love, to that awareness, to that intention. So it amplifies. It's your field, my field, everyone's field. It combines, it just becomes more powerful. And that's why Earth has energy too. And same thing, as you also mentioned, every country has energy. And that's number one reason when people join communities or people work with someone, they have a coach or they have some kind of, let's say, even online community, if they can't find something in person, they tend to see better results. And there are some studies that has been done on that as well. Don't ask me to quote one, but there
Yeah.
are that people who tend to have some kind of support and like a circle, there are more chances for them to manifest their goals than someone who is, in a way, a lone wolf.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. That's very interesting. I have to pay attention to that because I wasn't sure like what collective manifestation even means because like in my head it was something that we co-create. So this would mean like our entire experience, let's say as a group of people, as a town, let's say like a town of people.
Yeah,
So whatever the town looks like, whatever experience they have there would also be not just an individual manifestation, but also the manifestation of an entire group of people. So they are co-creating the environment they live
yeah,
in.
yeah. Love that.
Okay, then I'm out of questions. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
I absolutely loved the interview. You're a great coach. How can people actually reach you? Do you have a website that I can link?
Yeah, I would say just my Instagram, and from Instagram, there are all the links there.
Perfect.
It's at Grow with Guri. Yes.
Yes, perfect. I will link your infos. I will link your Instagram.
Awesome then. Well, thank you so much, and
Thank
you have
you.
a great day.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you so much. See
Thank
you
you.
soon.
Thank you. See you.
Bye.
Bye.